very, very, very sure that this is going to generate some interesting discussion, and I'm definitely going to rattle some feathers, and there's definitely some comments that are going to be like, so let me just preface ahead of time. This isn't a video talking about context or nuance, a phrase that I freaking love and have been quite known for. This is just my own opinion as a fan. And a question I get asked quite a lot, and it's something that I have to be quite true to, and it's something that I think is quite obvious. Would me, Jacob, be upset if Robby loses? Oh, but what about Miguel? We're not talking about Miguel. We're talking about Robby Keane. Why does every time Robby's name get mentioned, Miguel has to, there has to be a mention of Miguel constantly? It doesn't happen with Hawk. Doesn't happen with anyone else. It has to constantly happen with Robby. Okay, so with that out of the way, would I be upset if Robby loses? Yeah, I would be. Quite simply because I feel like Robby has been getting the short straw since the beginning of this show. And him getting a captain's headband doesn't, that, grow some balls. Like, that right there is entry level. That's surface level. I'm going to get the obvious out the way. I'm going to discuss something which has been floating around quite a bit. So if you don't want any potential spoilers, click off the video now. 3, 2, 1. The leak that's going around with Robby having the injury on his face, that means nothing. That means simply that he gets injured in the tournament. He gets hurt. Wow. I want Cobra Kai to grow some balls. I want there to be characters who have to fight through the blood and the pain. I think you send a more powerful message. There's no substitutions. No help is coming. You're on your own. You're bleeding. You're damn near hurt. Grow some balls. If you've watched any martial arts movie, any fighting movie, any movie with fighter's spirit, Rocky, Creed, whatever it happens to be, even things like Best of the Best, like whatever it happens to be, No Retreat, No Surrender, anything like that, then you know that sometimes having a character fight through the pain is way more impactful. Hell, Jaden Smith and Karate Kid, yeah, there was the whole, light bulb technique or whatever else. But I think it's much more powerful. No Miyagi magic, no light bulb technique, no substitution, no Robby getting injured and then Miguel taking his spot. No, I think that's lazy. I think that's boring. And if they do that, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm going to be real. I would rank the show down. Because to me, that right there is the definition of cop-out. That is a huge cop-out. Oh, but it's all in the execution. Not for that. That is a cheap cop-out. I want Cobra Kai to really go all in on this final season. I want there to be characters that are forced to make hard decisions where characters could really get hurt and even potentially, situations like that. And I feel like there's no better character to lead Miyagi-Do than Robby, because if you want to look at the show as a whole, right, I'm speaking as a fan here, Robby started Miyagi-Do. Yes, it started with Sam and whatever else, but the show, Robby was the first student. Who was the one who brought Daniel back from the pits of despair? Robby. Who was the one that brought Kenny back to the light? Robby. Who was the one that showed Tori another way? Robby. Who was the one that confronted Terry Silver? Robby. Who's the one that still needs to... This is where I'm going to extend an olive branch to the Miguel stans out there, because I'm not a stan. I just love media and I love characters and I love story. And being an actor myself, I look at it from a character perspective. So anyone that sends me the whole pity win thing, it's not a pity win. If that's the case, why has Hawk got one? So, just saying. Essentially, right, I feel like, to me, I feel like Robby has been set up for this since the beginning of this show. And the way I would have it pegged, wouldn't it make for a much more sweeter redemption if Robby wins the tournament and says to his brother, I'm sorry for everything I've done to you. I nearly killed you. I nearly put you in hospital. Here's your future. Here's the money. Go to college. Wouldn't it make much more sweeter redemption? Dad, I'm redeeming your mistakes. I am your son. We are family. We're in this together. Here's money for our new house. Like, I don't understand how... Can someone please explain to me in the comments section? Maybe it's a US thing, right? Can someone please explain to me this fascination with college? Please explain it to me. Like, to me, I would like for once the show to go on a different route and go, you know what? You don't need college to define your future. Yeah, sure, it helps. And yeah, it's great. And if that's the path you want to take, awesome. But I don't feel like for a show like Cobra Kai, which the whole message of Cobra Kai has been, you're not your past, you're what you choose for yourself. Your future is not defined by what you do right now. It's what you do every single day. What can you do to get better? I feel like also Robby's future is being set up as Miyagi-Do Sensei. I feel like that's his future. I feel like Miguel's future could be up in the air. It could go here or there. But I think Robby winning the tournament does so much for the story. It's not just about Robby. It's not just about but it's the story of Johnny and Miguel. We started with them. No, it's the story of Johnny, Robby, and Miguel. It started with Robby too. Yes, he wasn't in the first episode. Yes, he wasn't taught karate to fight bullies. But what was Sid's line of dialogue? How old is Robby? Oh, but when was the last time you saw him? Like, sorry to put this out there. Who's Johnny's actual son? Have I missed something here? Johnny's actual son, his blood son. Who is it? Have I missed something? It's Robby. This kid has been severely getting screwed over since the start of the show. And the one time he makes a massive mistake, he's not even allowed to redeem it. In my opinion, Robby hasn't redeemed himself yet, to me. And I'll be real, like I've said from day one, I hated Robby when he showed up in the show. I was like, get this 90s heartthrob Vanilla Ice out of here. Like, please don't do this. Please don't. And in season 2, I was like, and it's only when season 3 rolled around, I was like, okay, okay, this is pretty good. They're doing something here. I like this. This is pretty cool. It's only around season 3 that I came around to Robby's character, and that's my favorite season of Robby, and he's in that the least out of all the seasons, So to me, I would feel disappointed that Robby loses. I think I would feel a bit cheated because to me personally, I feel like it's Robby's title in the bag. That's just my opinion. Like, you haven't got to like it. And it doesn't mean that Miguel can't win anything. There's been constant streams where I've talked about maybe there's a way Robby and Miguel can win together. Like, there is a way. The show has emphasized them being on the same page so much, especially with the context in mind of we started with Miguel being the character that learned to defend himself against bullies to 6 seasons later teaming up with his bully to fight a bunch of jocks. The show complements them both. Why does one... They're not mutually exclusive to each other. Why does one character have to constantly sit out so the other one rises? I've had enough of that. It's not just a Robby problem. It's a Miguel problem. Anytime a character shines, another one has to face the brunt of it. Anytime Kenny shines, Hawk has to take the brunt of it. Anytime Robby shines, Miguel has to take a backseat. It's something that's happened across the show consecutively. It's not new. And you can trade the characters for any situation. Now, I know one of the comments down in the comment section is going to be, it's a Robby fanboy. He just wants Robby to win. Yeah, you're right. I do want Robby to win. I'll say it with my chest. I want Robby Lawrence, technically, to win the Sekai Taikai. I want him to win it. Now, there'll be a comment that says, I'll come back to this video when season 6 is done. Hey, if Robby doesn't win it, will I eat my words? Partially. I'll have no choice because he's not lifting it. He's not winning it. But it's me giving reasons outside of Miguel. That's the thing. I don't do this whole team Miguel, team Robby crap. I don't like it. It's surface level. It's basic. To me, it communicates you don't watch anything else and you love drama. People who have watched other stuff, Dragon Ball Z, Goku and Vegeta, Power Rangers, Jason and Tommy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for Christ's sake, Leo and Raph. Like, every so often, the other one will outshine the other one. That's what happens. And like I said in one of my previous videos, this whole show, Miguel has been Jason. He has been the red Mighty Morphin Ranger. And, Robby has been the green Mighty Morphin Ranger. We've switched. Robby is now the white Mighty Morphin Ranger. And what happened? Tommy took over. And then when Jason came back, Jason was the Gold Zeo Ranger, arguably stronger than Tommy. So that's why I'm excited, because even if Robby wins the trophy, that means they're gearing Miguel up for so much. Oh, but it ends with him. There's a good chance. I feel like the Sekai Taikai could end in part 2. It could go on to part 3. It could. But I don't think that's going to happen because there's so many characters to wrap up, so many storylines to wrap up. You cannot do that in part 2 alone, at least to me. Depending on execution, they might be able to pull it off. I just don't see it. How much they crammed in part 1, I don't see it. And I much rather Miguel shine in part 3 because then it ends with him, the guy that we started with. Oh, it started with him. It should end with him. So the show ends at the Sekai Taikai, yes? Like, I hate that notion. I really, I don't know where that logic comes from. The thing is, people say something and then people just regurgitate it. With me, I have never been one to go along with the crowd. I say my own thing and I do my own thing. If people don't like it, that's fine. If you don't like anything for what I've said the last 10 fucking minutes, then that's totally fine. You can not like anything I've said. You can disagree with everything that I've said. But you cannot tell me, hand on heart, if I was to show you a Robby scene pack of this boy getting absolutely shafted the whole show, this scene right here where he smiles at his dad, you can't tell me it doesn't warm your heart. That's his son. Like, I mean, come on. From where they started at the show to where they are now, it's a beautiful thing. And to me, I don't feel like Robby's redeemed himself. Not yet. I think his redemption's still to happen. Hell, in the promo, he said, in the promo where he's wearing all the green, he says finding a path that, like, making things right and finding a path to redemption. Like, go figure. Like, you know, I really don't. And this is the other thing. I do not want, and I'm going to say it with my chest, I do not want Robby to prop up Miguel for Miguel to win. I do not want that. And also, I do not want Miguel to just prop up Robby. I don't want either. Now, how can you be pleased, Jacob? There is a way. These guys have had it in mind for 6 seasons. I'm sure they will find a way to satisfy everyone. I'm sure they'll find a way. Hell, Tanner said it himself. Like, can he lose any more? And also, he did say there's a good ending in there for Robby. So if Robby is to lose the Sekai Taikai, yeah, would it suck? To me, yeah, it would. But I'll suck it up. If he's got a good ending outside the tournament, then fine. You know, as long as it's earned. Don't just, oh, you know, he loses the tournament, but he learns the value of being a sensei and being second best and being second fiddle to someone. No. What message are you sending? Like, no. Get that out of here. Like, no. Basic. I'm interested in the deeper minerals, you know? Guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. I'm sure you guys probably have already by this point. If you haven't, then I would be surprised. Please hear everything I have said, right? Yes, I've always been more lenient to Robby. I've never shied away from that. I have never, ever shied away from that. But let it not be, you know, forgotten. Miguel is El Serpiente. He's the new age karate kid. He's the new guy, you know, like he's the boy. He's the one that we care for the most. He's the journey that we've seen, the journey of him and Johnny through the whole show. And him and Johnny have some of the best damn scenes in the entire show. And some of my favorite scenes in the show now are between Miguel and Robby. Hell, let's extend an olive branch. You care more about their rivalry than they do. Like, literally, when they're competing for the red flags, they have a back-to-back moment and they smile at each other. That's what having a rival does to you. A rival that's healthy competition, that's what having one does for you. It keeps you up. It keeps you on edge. It keeps you, okay, if Miguel drops, Robby takes over, and it gives something for Miguel to chase. If Miguel drops, then Robby, like, they balance each other out. Like, that's the whole point, you know? And yes, Miguel wearing the captain's headband or whatever else, it's because, like I said, and I could be completely wrong, again, it's just theory, but Robby's head's going to be completely out of it. He's going to be completely off balance. Miguel steps up to take over for captaincy for a little bit. They share the mantle. Is that a foreboding for something? Just saying. Oh, I can't wait to see that comment section. Now, guys and girls, do remember, right? I have constantly given Miguel praise so much, right? I have said it from day one. Miguel is one of the greatest characters in the Karate Kid universe. I've said it from day one. However, the fans of Miguel, you guys got to chill. You guys do too much. You really do. You just dial it back a little bit. And vice versa. Robby stands, just reel it back in a little bit, okay? Like, just because Robby has lost twice doesn't mean he's automatically owed it. There's got to be a reason we give it to him, which is the last 14 minutes of whatever I've been ranting about. But guys and girls, I'll see you in the comment section down below. Jesus Christ, like, oh man, I'm looking forward to when this video uploads. Oh, whew, she doesn't love you, she loves me. Ah!